So thank you to those that have been watching my videos and sharing. For my newest viewers, my name is Montina, and I've been online for a long time, and I'm going to do a story time today. My therapist fired me. But for you all that don't really know me, you need to know the backstory and understand why investing in therapy is so important for me. So I was about 29 years old, and my therapist said, don't come back, hit the road, Jack, don't come back no more. And she meant it. So when I was 18 months old, my mother abandoned me. My father was in prison. And I lived with my grandmother until I was about 12. And then I went to live with my aunt until I was about 16, 17. My aunt kicked me out. I was a homeless teen. I was going from friend to friend to friend, house to house to house. Later, met the father of my 3 children, and just didn't understand the significance of dealing with conflict and relationships, and never had any real disagreements. So that was a very tumultuous relationship, and I ended up living in the YWCA during that pregnancy, and then moving back with him, then moving into a homeless shelter with my 9-month-old, where I stayed for about less than a month, but I was pregnant with our 2nd child before I started college. Now, say all of that to say this. I still managed to get my GED, graduate with my master's, built my first home before I was 30, okay? Now I'm mid-40s and headed into my 3rd marriage. So here's the thing with my therapist at that time. My aunt that had raised me had passed away. My father that was in prison had passed away after serving 19 years of a 20-year sentence. My life was a mess. And she challenged me. She would really make me dig deep into the spaces that were not comfortable, that were ugly, that were triggering. And although I can look back now and say, man, it was the best thing for me, it didn't feel good at the time. It really didn't. I didn't understand how to process it because I was being challenged so much. On the exterior, I had overcome so much, GED to the master's, and I was at the corporate level, and I had it going on. Exterior, but the little girl inside of me was hurt. She had fear of abandonment. She was broken. So I met my 2nd husband on Twitter. Some of you all, if you're one of my old subscribers, kind of know that story. I don't really talk about it now, but we were both YouTubers at the time. And I owned my home. I was doing very well in corporate. And he just was not the right one. It was a horrible decision. But it was a horrible decision because I should have sat my butt down for a year and processed through the hurt and losing loved ones. My father, my aunt that was like a mother to me. But it didn't. And she told me she was not going to see me anymore. She said, don't come back. You're done. She fired me. And that was tough. Okay. But at that time, I'm like, whatever, because I'm going to marry him. And she told me how bad of a decision it was. And really that I just needed to wait. Not that it was a bad decision, but that I needed to wait. I didn't want to listen. Fast forward, it was the worst decision. One of the worst, if not a pivotal, one of the worst decisions I ever made in my life, because it took me about, it doesn't, when you divorce, it takes a while to bounce back, but it took me like years to bounce back and just get things back on track after being with them for about 8 years. So fast forward, I've had, and I'm going to tell gender and race specific, white female, then I had 2 white males that were my marriage counselors. Again, they were really challenging me. And of course, our marriage didn't work, and our counseling worked because they challenged me to be a better version of myself. But again, I just really didn't listen, right? So I've had a Black female therapist. With my Black female therapist, what I felt was that I was too comfortable with her. At some point, I kind of felt like we were learning from each other. And at $175 an hour, I didn't feel like she should be learning anything from me, right? So I felt like I was too comfortable. Now, fast forward now, and I mentioned it in the video, I have a white male coach, I have a white life coach, I have a white business advisor, and not to say now I have a Black astrologist and I have a Black spiritual guide. So I have really just mixed it up in terms of those that I work with, because I found that for me, it is extremely important for me not to get comfortable with people and to be able to have people that challenge me. So I have a few points here. Someone said, can you help me understand what to look for? What advice would you give? And so I'm going to give you a few points. First, I look at credentials. I'm in business, and so I've had business coaches, and in the past, I'd hire people that just really had what we call great copy. I mean, they just talk the talk. They had all these great websites and flashiness. So I'm hiring people but they don't have businesses. You can't teach me business if you don't have a business. What's your business? Motivating me? I don't need motivated. I'm good. I get up every day. Don't need motivated. So I'm going to look at, if they say they're a coach in health and nutrition, then I'm going to look at their body and their structure and how they train might not fit for me. I actually don't prefer to train with men, but there are some amazing male trainers. There are people that give me advice even at my gym, and I'm looking at them like, I wouldn't listen to you. So again, for me, I'm looking at some sort of credentials, but you can call yourself a life coach, and I don't care if you went to Life Coach University. That doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure that based on what you're teaching, that brings me to the next thing, you have results in it. Well, Montina, this person's teaching about marriage, but they're not married. Were they married? Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been married multiple times too, and we have an insight that you just don't have if you've never been married. And if you've been married once and then divorced and twice and divorced, you have a different insight. But this is my third marriage. Like I know things that I didn't know when I was 20 and 30. You know, I'm looking at modern women, and I'm like, oh gosh, I understand that you're chasing the career and chasing success, and I'm chasing the business and chasing awards, but less than 2% of women in business have ever crossed $1 million in revenue, and that number has not changed in over 20 years. Less than 4%. It's only about 4% of businesses total, okay, make over $1 million in revenue a year. So it's just small. Over 2 million Black businesses, or over 2 million Black-owned businesses, and only about 100,000 of them have employees. I used to have 6 employees, W-2 employees, paying taxes on them. So again, I know the numbers. I'm looking for the credentials. The next thing I'm looking, are they relatable? Okay, is there just something that I can relate with them with? Because again, this to me is a person, if I'm going to a therapist, a coach, I gotta be naked with them, okay? This can't be the Montina that, you know, I'm comfortable with everyone else seeing, because face it, we all wear different hats. You know, they say mask, you know, you're just different, okay? So you need somebody that's like, look, you know, you got to take the layers off. You know, I have an appointment actually at the time I'm recording this video today with my therapist. His name is Art. He's a white male. And then I have an appointment with my business coach that looks at all my financials, cash flow statements, profit and loss statements, balance sheet, okay? Everything, okay? On my business side. So if there's a distribution, I have to explain it. Now, it's not saying I can't take money from my own business, but why'd you pull 10,000? Why'd you pull 7,000? I have to explain these things, okay? So again, they have to be, this isn't someone that you're just getting on and they rub you the wrong way all the time, okay? Are they an expert or thought leader in their space? So I typically am going to Google them, maybe look at their LinkedIn, maybe at least look at their website, because that does matter. You know, you just out here saying you do this and that and you got a Gmail address. That won't work for me. I need to work with people that are experts in their space, they're credible in their space, they're thought leaders in their space. Really important for me. Again, do they have the results I want? I need to work. So for instance, I'm paying someone to help me actually with my YouTube channel, because I get YouTube, but a lot has changed over the years. And I don't know if y'all know, I wrote a book about YouTube, I don't know, 2009, 10, somewhere in YouTube Secrets Revealed. But YouTube's changed, and I never used YouTube from a profit center, right? YouTube's fun for me. It's always been fun for me. But as my life has shifted and I see that there are so many women out here that are clueless about relationships and being told to wait and being told to, told just so many lies about relationships and that haven't seen healthy relationships. How many of us have seen healthy relationships? It made me want to share more. So I'm like, oh, I need to grow my channel. I need to understand, you know, what type of videos to put out and things like that. So I want to make sure that, again, I'm working with someone that has the results I want. So I hired a coach, $700, okay? It's not cheap, and it's for 90 minutes. Hey, I need to meet with this person. I paid $1,000 to a coach because I needed specific advice. I paid $300 for 30 minutes. I want the short route. Experience is a long, expensive teacher. So if you want to go the long route, cool. I don't, okay? So again, the results. If they can help me go further, faster, that's who I want to hire. So I'm interviewing them, okay? They have to sell me on themselves too, because it is an investment. And I have small businesses that I work with And I fired some. I work with literally a handful, and I really have to like who I work with, and they know it. Sometimes I show up like this, and sometimes I show up in my business attire. It just depends. The next thing is, are they serious about their business? I prefer not to work with people that don't take their business seriously. I need invoices. I need to be able to email you. I need to be able to call you, or are we talking on a private line? Like, are you professional? Because we're not friends, okay? Business is business. If there's a transaction occurring, we can be friends, because I am friends with some of my clients I consider family even, but I still treat them like professionals. I have one client that is going to have a TV opportunity. So when I'm emailing like the TV person and I'm the director or whatever, I call this a client of mine, attorney such and such. If I'm talking to my client, sending an email and it's their admins involved, I call them Mr. or whatever, Ms., Mrs. So I do have a level of professionalism and formality with my clients. Payment gateways, that's why I said websites and things like that. So that's the deal. I know that you all think that you can talk to people for free. No, you need to invest in therapy through your insurance or out of pocket, but whatever it takes, get it done. Life coaches, again, do they have the results that you want? I don't tend to listen to a lot of young people in the femininity relationship space. I tend to listen to people like really centered around maybe within 10 years of my age, because I know that life happens. I know what happens after kids, because after kids, your relationship is going to shift. It is not going to be the same. 45, 50 plus. We have no kids in the house. Life changes because you're around this person. Like, you have to have things to talk about. You need to be interesting and fascinating. So I hope that this video helps. A little long, but what's bringing you here for my new viewers, and what's keeping you here for my current subscribers? Because y'all, this is real life. So story time, yeah, my therapist fired me. I wasn't able to go back, but I had to find someone new. And I'll tell you this, if your therapist is firing you, you're not listening. So why are you paying them? Like, they get tired too. Nobody wants to work with people that don't listen. Business coaches, I fired people. Don't be hard-headed. Take the advice. You're not the expert. You hired them for a reason. Trust their insight. Listen. Understand what your triggers are. That's their job. My therapist, man, this call today, he's going to get on me about something specific that I just haven't been able to do, but he's going to help me process through it. He helps me process through scripts that I need to, sometimes say to family members. So they are there to help guide you on your journey, okay? And be honest with them, all right? So again, who's going to be the spark to ignite the conversation? Let me know what brought you here to my channel and what's keeping you here to stay. Peace.